The development in nutrition and what we call as nutraceuticals is a very recent development. It has been going on only since the last 5-6 years, that you'll be finding a lot in the news about diet. And wherever they find that the medical support is not enough, there is always more aggressive research looking for something. So what I have done is like a little brief idea to give you. What are the likely things you could use for your patients? Now, these are not something that's going to cure, but it is something that's going to support what you can give and help the patients. So there is a lot of evidence now coming in research showing that there is diet can affect and improve the symptoms of severity of autism. You know that with all that we have been hearing just now, that ASD is a very complex biological disorder. There are many common comorbidities that are seen in the ASD spectrum. And one of them you will find, you saw in all the cases, a lot of them had either constipation or some sort of linked GI symptom with it. Now, there is a lot of focus on this part of the cases because they feel that the gut is one of the strongest immune organs in our body. It has to protect us from all the invasive foods and junk that we put into it. So dysbiosis has been now linked to a lot of severe conditions, chronic conditions. And along with that, we have also a lot of research in topics like using of essential fats, the omega-3s, omega-6, balancing blood sugar. There's a lot of increase in diabetes in children seen nowadays. Then you have heavy metal poisons, food additives, and food allergies. So these are all the different aspects that you can look into. The mother's nutritional status during pregnancy, again, has been shown in all the cases. All of them talk what is the mother's condition, because mother carries the child, feeds the child, and the child has develops from the mother. So the first case that I took up here was basically a study. I have been reading a lot about this. I've had a few experiences with patients, helping them. And these are research studies. This is a retrospective study done by a food questionnaire in nurses in the US, in the whole of the US, where they have identified 370 autistic kids and compared the pregnancy diet of the mothers to other normal kids. And this is what they find, that women in the higher percentile who have had enough sufficient omega-6 fatty acids showed a 34 reduction risk of having an ASD child. So essential fats during pregnancy are very important. Similarly with omega-3, DHA, AA, all of them showed 53% risk, less risk, if you have sufficient. Now, if you look at prenatal vitamins nowadays, in India, our vitamins do not contain the omega-3s yet. But if you study the prenatals abroad where they give, in the US, in the UK, now by government rule, they have included omega-3s in prenatals. So if you have a case, you have patients coming in, please check whether they are taking adequate amounts of omega-3s. Now, in India, a lot of people are vegetarian. They see they don't want to use a fish oil because that is the best source of an omega-3. So your best alternative to it would be to advise them to have a cheap, small little seed called a flax seed. So flax seed, 2 tablespoons powder, they can mix it in any food, is excellent to make up for an omega-3. If the patient can afford it, walnuts is an excellent source. So these are things you can advise to your patient. There are studies that say lactating mothers and in formula milk, where omega-3 hasn't shown much clinical improvement, but everything has to be seen in comparison. Omega-3, omega-6 are basically good for mental health. Deficiency results in fatigue and poor memory, as well as behavioral and developmental problems. There are numerous studies where omega-3 supplements have been tried. Unfortunately, till now, they have been very small studies. They have not been really big studies. The government has right now going on 5 studies in omega-3s. We hope within a few years we get more results. And these supplements are increased in our diet. The food sources are advised. These are research studies, as I told you again. Dr. Gordon Bell has shown that autistic children have an enzyme defect that removes the essential fats from the brain cell membranes. So for these children, it is important to supplement extra of the omega-3s, and the use of the omega-3 increases by increased additional supplementation of carnitine, which is an amino acid which carries the fat across the cell membrane, and riboflavin, which we all know, and copper. The second part of what we're talking about is the gastrointestinal disease and dysbiosis. Here, again, you'll see a lot in the news about probiotics. There are probiotics, there are prebiotics. A probiotic is the actual live bacilli, while a prebiotic is what feeds that bacilli. So you have to give the food along with the bacilli as a supplement. Again, studies done, animal-based studies have done, showing that it decreases the ASD type of symptoms and the changes in the severity. Autism and likely other behavioral conditions are potentially diseases involving the gut that ultimately impacts the immune system, metabolic, nervous system, and that microbiome-mediated therapies are a safe and effective treatment. So this is something else you can recommend. We have in our traditional food, which a lot of us don't do anymore, is to have just a glass full of chas, tak, what they call. So if you have that, it gives you natural probiotic every day with your meal, which is something you can advise for your patients. These are other studies talking about the probiotics as alternate treatment option for depression and other psychiatric disorders. Just to show you the link between the gut and the brain. Because how is this link coming up? When your intestinal lining is being disturbed by the wrong type of bacteria, the larger proteins which are not digested enter in and stimulate your immune system and make the immune system react in a bad way. So it causes immune imbalances which reflect again in the different disorders. This is a small study that was done. 3-month-old children given in the first 3 months of life, they were given a prebiotic and they showed reduced colic, reduced regurgitation, and functional constipation was decreased. Again, just to show the importance of how you can use simple foods for children. This was a study with 589 newborns. Another study showed how stomach disturbances and common foods that you can react to as a hypersensitivity. It's not a food allergy, but it's a food hypersensitivity. So for the hypersensitivity, they have checked the production of certain cytokines, and they've compared it with food and in the major components of milk, because milk is a very common diet for all children. And they find that there is milk proteins are very likely to cause a reaction in some children's gut. But what I have not put here is the surprising fact is it is not the casein in the milk. It is the milk albumin and globulin that is causing the reaction. So when we are looking at casein-free diets, we are actually eliminating milk, which helps to also eliminate albumin globulin. But it is that which is causing the reaction. Dr. Barwalia mentioned gluten and casein-free diets in autistic patients. Again, studies have showed reduced severity of autistic traits. This was a study in a one-year trial with 20 children in 2002. These were the tests that were done to assess them. Then we talk about the blood sugar balance. There is a lot just now, everyone talks about blood sugar, insulin, blood sugar spikes, all to do with chronic heart diseases. It also affects the brain. There is a lot of overlap between hyperactivity and autism. And autistic children who show hyperactivity, if you improve the blood sugar, it helps to calm them down, for which the basic advice would be frequent small meals, always combine a carbohydrate with a protein in their food. Don't ever give them a chocolate by itself. Give them a chocolate with some little almonds or any type of nut, peanuts, chana. Give them a protein with a carb, because that protein helps to bring down the blood sugar spike. And try and avoid processed foods. Encourage whole foods. So white sugar, white bread, white rice is to be avoided. Try to go more for whole foods. Again, this concept has not caught on so much in India, but the US school meals, the midday school meal, as of 2014 is now going 50% whole food. And from next year, they're going to be 100% whole food. They're going to stop all white bread and white rice for school meals. This was data collected that showing in the national survey between 1999 and 2008, pre-diabetes and diabetes in children has increased from 9% to 23%, showing what we are doing to our kids. What sort of food are we giving them causing this problem? Vitamins and minerals. Dr. Apte talked about them, about how metabolic disturbances can be overcome by giving high doses of vitamins and minerals. Vitamin B6, C, zinc, magnesium, all can be tried. You could try and advise a dietary supplement. It takes about 6 to 12 weeks for an effect to be seen in a dietary change. So if you're going to give a supplement, you're trying it out, give one at a time. Don't give everything together. And observe what you're seeing. Improvement in autistic children in one such study, 12 out of 16 children improved, and when they stopped the vitamins, they regressed again, to show that vitamins do have a role to play also. This research was started first in the 1970s by Dr. Imlen. After that, it has been taken up again by Adam and Holloway in 2004 and 2011. Possible role of methylation, again, Dr. Apte showed us a case of homocystinuria. That, again, is a likely possibility in a lot of these children because there is a strong genetic link to the ASD spectrum. So for that, think of supplements like B6, B12, folic acid, amino acids. These are all the different, he showed us the whole chart. So these are the different vitamins and minerals that take part in the whole cycle of conversion of homocysteine back into methionine. So finally, we are seeing that we're trying to understand the impact of food and drink on neurological illnesses. In 2012, you all must be going on the net and seeing the Medscape site. So the end of every year, they have this, what they call is, what is the impact of the research of that year? So in there they say, they're talking about the food impact, the dietary researchers, saying that the plate has been piled very high with studies, because more and more studies are going now into looking at what nutrients and supplements will help in which conditions. Nutrition has a role to play in management of autism, ADD, other neurological problems. This has now been recognized slowly. It cannot cure the disorder, but it can help to improve your treatment. It will help support brain function, allow the body to perform at its optimum level. It maximizes the child's brain function and will improve the response to other treatments along with the homeopathy. It will increase and enhance immune function. It will detoxify the body systems and enhance the body's gastrointestinal system if you advise proper diet for them. What are the usual recommendations you would give? Basically, for all patients, ask what their normal food diet is. Most children don't eat their vegetables, and they're usually deficient in their vitamins. Our processed foods that we have, especially the white bread and the rice, which are staples, have stripped of all their minerals. So you could add a reasonably priced multivitamin and mineral supplement. You could add foods which are high in omega-3, you could advise, or give a fish oil supplement. When you're adding omega-3, it's not enough just to give the omega-3, but it's very important to advise to decrease the use of other common vegetable oils. One of the reasons coming out for why we are so deficient in omega-3 is the conversion of the omega-3 and omega-6 and the other oils has common enzymes. And when we are having a lot of the other common oils, you are eating all the fried foods, what happens is the enzyme goes for the common oil conversion and does not help in the activation of the omega-3s. So that causes further deficiency symptoms. Consume foods high in magnesium. Again, there are research studies showing magnesium decreases heart rate. We know all that physiologically. It helps to relax the muscles. It also helps to calm down hyperactive children. So you could advise them to give more magnesium-containing foods. So tell the parents, give the child a banana every day, give them nuts, give them peanuts, give them chana. This is all magnesium-containing. Consume foods high in antioxidant to help detoxify the system. So vitamin C, it's called the ACE, ACE, are antioxidants. And avoid the foods with natural colors and additives. Thank you.